everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing. We really appreciate that. Now, as you can see here right now, we've got some snow on the ground. It's right around zero. Riding season is over. Winter is sitting in on us. It came a bit early this year, but nonetheless it's here. So what we have to do is winterize the Royal Enfield Continental 650 GT and get that all ready for winter. I'm going to show you guys how, or what I do, which seems to work well. I've done it on bikes I've had for my whole life. So anyways, first things first, what we've done is back the bike out, warmed it up, because we're going to change the oil on it. Going to change the oil and filter, get all of this year's crud out of the engine oil. So the engine is warm. Next thing what we're going to do is, well, we're going to close this garage door because I'm freezing, but I'll be right back with you. I'm letting the oil drain down right now into the engine, and we're going to drain it out, so we'll be right back. Alright, so got the bike up on its rear stand. It doesn't have to be on the rear stand, you can do it on the side stand if you want, but and it's a 13 mil socket. There's our oil coming out. You can see there's a magnetic plug. On the plug there's a magnet on the end, so you get a little bit of metal filings that will collect on the end of the plug, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. So I'm just going to let that oil drain out. I've also loosened the filler plug on the other side so that there's not a vacuum lock. Alright, so oil's draining still, and I'll just get the filter off here. There we go. Get some more oil probably coming out now from the filter. Just let that drain out slowly, and there's no rush. Enfield's got to be one of the easiest motorcycles nowadays to change oil in. There's no fairing to remove, no brackets, no nothing. It's great. It's super easy. Now, if you do have one of the Enfields that has the sump pan on it, you'll have to remove that before you do this. So what I'm going to do right now is just let the oil drain out, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so the oil's been draining for about 5 minutes now. Still a couple drips coming out of there. You can leave it for longer if you like. You probably just get, I don't know, 10 mils of oil, but it doesn't really matter. So as far as the drain plug, I've cleaned the plug off and removed the crush washer that was on it, and I'm going to replace it with a brand new copper one. Ended up getting a bag of these off of AliExpress. They're like $3 or $4. I'll put a link below in the description if you like, and they're handy to have. Easy if you're changing your oil, just to do it just for peace of mind. It's not necessary, I don't think, every time, but the manual says you should, so it's probably not a bad idea. So I'll just put the plug back in. Proper torque for the drain plug is 35 Newton meters or 26 foot-pounds. I'm just going to snug it up, but those are the torques. I've never had a problem just giving a little snug like that, and let her go like that. Now, in terms of oil filter, what I'm going to use is a Mobil 1 M104A. Picked it up at Walmart. The Enfield filters are not that readily available. You can get them, but the M104 fits. It's a little bit longer, but it does fit, and it's a fairly highly rated filter, so that's the filter that we're going to use. Otherwise, been in the garage, it's a little thick. I'm going with a 10W40 full synthetic. I'll probably change it out before the heat of the summer gets here. So for our climate, I think the 1040 is just fine. The factory recommended is 1050, I think. Again, full synthetic, but this is a full synthetic. See, filter spins on good. Let it get sort of snug, and the torques for the filter are 20 newton meters or 15 foot-pounds. Again, I'm just going to do what I've done all along: is just give it a little twist and just snug it up, and don't reef it on. There we go. So it gets snug, then maybe a quarter turn, and you're good. Now, in terms of topping up the oil, what the capacity is on an oil change is, what I understand, 3.1 liters. So we're going to go around to the other side with the funnel, and we're going to top up the oil. All right, so we're back on the right-hand side of the bike. This is the oil filler. As I said before, I loosened the cap during the draining of the oil so that there wouldn't be a vacuum lock and some air could replace the oil as it dropped down. So now we'll take that off. Put our funnel in the hole. Just top her up. Say 3.1 liters. The tip that I just learned right now is that if you're going to be doing this in a cold garage, you should bring your oil into the house first so that it's at least room temperature rather than being around 5 degrees Celsius, which I think the garage is right now. Because it makes it really thick. It doesn't really want to play. All right, so got the level up. As you can see, I've started the motorcycle up, and so that the oil will flow into the filter. We're at the top line. All right, so oil's changed. Now we've got is some fuel stabilizer. There's different brands. This particular stuff is Win's fuel stabilizer. This will ensure that your fuel doesn't break down over the winter. So it goes straight into the gas tank. The other thing I've done is I've made sure that my tank is full of gas. So read your label, see how much it does. This particular bottle does 75 liters of fuel, so you use about a third of the bottle in the Enfield, and you just pour it in. It's probably about a third right there, maybe another little titch. The rest of this can go on the other two bikes. There, cap back on, and then I'll just give it a little slosh around. Mix up the stabilizer with the fuel. What you can do at this point is you can start the engine so that you get some of your stabilizer through the fuel lines and into the injectors if you want. I've never had any problems either way. If you do it or you don't do it, it's all good. It's only going to be parked for probably 4 or 5 months, so it should be good. Now, the other thing that I do in terms of long-term storage or over the winter storage is a battery tender. So I've got a battery tender here. It's the battery tender brand. That'll maintain the battery over the winter. I put a SAE lead to the positive and negative terminal of the battery. Battery tender just plugs right into it and will maintain the battery at a steady level. The other plus with this SAE lead is that in the winter or in the fall, when I'm still riding, I've got a heated vest, which will just plug right into that. So there you have it. That's basically all that I do for winterization of the motorcycle. You can put a cover on it if you want. In this garage here, it's usually around 0, maybe a little bit above 0 over the winter, so it's not freezing solid. So if I was in a place where the bike was going to be frozen solid, I'd take the battery out, put it in the house, put it on a tender inside the house so it's still warm, but it's pretty good here. Okay, so also one more thing I should say in regards to the winter storage of the bike. I would say don't start your bike up over the winter. I know a lot of people get sort of lonely with their bikes. They want to go outside, start it up in the garage. It's cold. It might be a nice day. Anyways, you start it up like that and you get a heat cycle. You end up getting condensation in your engine. So when it cools down again, you might notice some sort of milky looking oil. And that happens if you start your engine up and allow it to cool down in a cold area like this, and you end up with condensation inside your tank. So I would say, as hard as it is, don't start it up if it's below 0 over the winter. Just leave it until springtime. You can wait, keep it on the tender. All right, so yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. Liking, subscribing if you can. Might have another video over the winter, I'm hoping. But if not, we'll see you in the spring, and keep the rubber side down. To all you lucky guys that get to ride year round, we're very envious of you. Wish we could be there riding as well. Anyways, take care, guys, and ride safe.